Hi friends, welcome to this new video. In this video, I am trying to explain various steps in writing a social science project. Students of Cbse class 9, 10, 11 and 12 have to do social science projects. Suppose you have been given an economics project, consumer awareness and consumer satisfaction. It is not a group activity. Each student must do it separately. We will discuss the steps involved in doing a project. Items given in red ink are optional at the high school level. There are certain instructions. The project must be in writing. Why? You know the answer. The project must have a minimum of 25 pages. The student can write only on one side of A4 sheet. Pictures or graphs can be pasted on the left side of the project. The project must be in the order of contents. Primary data, if required, can be collected using a questionnaire. A copy of the questionnaire must be placed in the appendix after bibliography or reference. The project can be soft-bound without using any plastic sheets. Before the chapters begin, we have to keep certain pages. Actually, there is a custom of keeping such pages. We will see what these pages are. The first page, known as the title page, will include the title of the project. Here it is consumer awareness and consumer satisfaction. It is given here. Then we have to give the name of the student, his class number or register number, and the project is submitted to which school, etc. And the year also can be given. Okay, this is the title page, in which mainly the title, the name of the student, name of the school, and the year are given. Okay, then comes the acknowledgement page. In this, the student is expressing his gratitude to those persons who helped him or her. Okay, there is no fixed sentences for this. The student can use his or her own sentences. Then comes a declaration by the student. In this, the student declares that this project has been done by him without copying from any other dissertation or project. Okay, what he certifies is that this is a bona fide work done by him. Okay, but this page can be avoided. This is not compulsory at the 10th level. Then comes the certificate page. The certificate is issued by the school authorities. The certificate will be signed by the subject teacher or guide and the principal of the school. Okay. The chapters included in a social science project or research project are introduction, then review of literature, then research methodology, then data presentation and analysis, then discussion, and finally conclusion and recommendations. Without deviating much from this, we, after making some adjustments, make our content page. In our content page, first comes chapter 1, which is introduction. An overview of the topic must be given. Then comes review of literature, which can be omitted for the 10th and 12th level. Then comes the significance and scope of the study, which is very important. Then statement of the problem and research questions. Then objectives. Then hypothesis, which can be omitted at the 10th and 12th levels. Then comes methodology of writing the project. then limitations of the study, then chapter scheme. Limitations of the study and chapter scheme can be omitted. Okay, now in chapter 2, we can give, according to our topic, consumer in the marketplace. That is the title I have given. You can give a different title. Chapter 3, Consumer Rights. There is a subtopic, Consumer Protection Measures. Chapter 4, Consumer Awareness and Consumer Satisfaction. Chapter 5, Summary and Findings. Then comes bibliography or references. Then comes the appendix page in which you can give the questionnaire if you have used any primary data. Okay, so this is the content page. Then before starting the project, you can keep an executive summary of the project here. In paragraph 1, you can give a short introduction which you can take from the original project. This must include the importance and scope. Paragraph 2 must include the objectives of the project. That also you can take from the project. Paragraph 3, methodology of the project. You can write it in a short form. Paragraph 4, findings. 2 or 3 important findings can be mentioned here. Then paragraph 5, conclusion. A short conclusion also given. All these must include in one A4 sheet. Okay. Now we start the first chapter of the project. It is introduction. The first heading is overview. You can begin with a brief introduction to the topic in simple terms. You can start with some quotation also. The reason for selecting this topic can be given, or if it is allotted to you by the teacher, that can be given. This part must give the reader a general idea about the topic. The second subtopic is review of literature, which can be omitted at the class 10 level. Okay. Then comes the significance and scope of the study. You have to explain why the topic is important and what value your project makes to understanding the project. Example, how lack of consumer awareness leads to their cheating by traders. How does the problem affect the society? How does it encourage critical thinking by analyzing causes and effect? You can explain the areas covered by this project. What is the relevance of this topic to the present? Does the project create any civic responsibility? What is its contribution to knowledge? Then we come to the statement of the problem or research questions. There will be a felt economic problem based on which the study is conducted. In order to have focus, certain research questions or statements can be given. The objectives of the study are formed based on this. At the 10th and 12th level, you can avoid this part. Now comes the objectives of the study. You have to mention what you aim to explore or answer through the project. Your project will be a journey to find out the answer to these objectives. You can have any number of objectives, but it is better to limit it to 1 or 2 at the high school level. The objectives must be formed in close relationship with the topic or the research questions. For example, in our study, suppose the objectives are 1. To study the linkage between consumer awareness and consumer satisfaction. 2. To analyze the effectiveness of consumer awareness programs. Okay. Then comes hypothesis. This part can be avoided at the 10th and 12th levels. Okay. Now comes the methodology part. The methodology of the project explains the general research approach, qualitative or quantitative. The qualitative approach is based on reading and analysis, based on non-numerical data, and the quantitative approach is based on numerical data and statistics. If you are using secondary data like books, textbooks, online resources, documentaries, videos, etc., the source must be given and reliability ensured. If you are using primary data, which is optional, the data collection method, sample size, nature of questionnaire, etc. must be given. The data must be analyzed and the most influential factors must be found out. Causes of the problem can be categorized like economic, political, and social. The findings must be presented as reports, presentations, etc. Visual aids like charts, table, graphs, diagrams, etc. can be used. Now comes the limitations of the study and the chapter scheme. Both can be omitted at the class 10 level. Now comes the second chapter, consumer in the marketplace. Now to write this chapter, you have to collect data on various issues related to this. For example, is the market fair? Is the consumer a king? What are the problems faced by the consumer in the marketplace, etc. So find out the answers to these questions and expand. Okay, then comes chapter 3, consumer rights. Now to write this chapter, find out answers to the questions like what are the rights of the consumer, what is the Consumer Protection Act, what are the methods to protect consumers, etc. Then we come to chapter 4, consumer awareness and consumer satisfaction. In order to write this chapter, you have to collect data on various issues related to consumer awareness and consumer satisfaction. You have to explain what is meant by consumer awareness, what are the programs for consumer awareness, which are the bodies involved in this, how many consumers are satisfied with respect to the purchase of particular commodities. The data collected must be presented in this chapter using tables, diagrams, graphs, etc. And based on that, the issues must be analyzed. Now comes chapter 5, summary and conclusion. A brief summary of the project can be given here. The objectives of the study must be specified. Findings with respect to each objective must be given. After enumerating all findings, the project may be concluded in the next paragraph. The reader may be reminded of the major goal or research question. Highlight the most important points, results, or outcomes of your research or experiment without going into detail. Discuss what you learned from the project. Explain the broader significance of your project. Explain about any new skill learned. Suggest areas for further research or improvements for future projects in the same topic. End with a final thought or reflection that reinforces the value of the project. Okay, then comes the bibliography page. In this page, you are acknowledging all the information you received from various sources. Writing a bibliography for a research project involves listing all the sources you used while researching your topic. The format of your bibliography can vary depending on the citation style you are using. There are various styles like APA, MLA, Chicago, etc. An example using APA style is given here. Okay. Now comes the appendix page. Copies of documents, questionnaire, etc. can be given in the appendix. Questionnaire is a list of questions prepared in order to collect information from the respondents. Generally, the questions must be simple and direct. A questionnaire must be prepared in such a way that the researcher gets adequate information to analyze the objectives. Thank you.